Then the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon him. He went down to Ashkelon, struck down 30 of the young men, stripped them of everything, and he gave their clothes to those who had explained the riddle. Burning with anger, he returned to his father's home. That is Judges 14 and verse 19. Demystifying the Holy Spirit of God. Notice here, the greatest empowerment, the greatest reinforcement to do extraordinary things is of the Holy Spirit. As we continue to trace down the work of the Spirit of the Lord and activators of the same, we continue to see much more of the work that is done by the Holy Spirit. If you look here in verse 19, Judges 14 verse 19, the Bible is saying that the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon him. That is empowerment. Get that? That is like forcing to manifestation. That's like charging you into action, because the Spirit came upon him powerfully. So meaning the Spirit of the Lord can come to you, but he can come to you powerfully. And here it is an endowment with the supernatural abilities. It is equipping with the supernatural energies, the divine strength that is outside human application. And I'll take you to look at the following. The Bible says he went down to Ashkelon. So when the Spirit of the Lord comes upon you powerfully, you access the territory of the enemy. He went down to Ashkelon. Ashkelon, went down to Ashkelon. So Ashkelon is a picture of hell. So he went down to hell. That's why you notice when Jesus Christ died, he went down to hell. And when he was there, he disarmed the powers and authorities. According to Colossians 2 verse 15. And Peter speaks about the same thing, that he went there and he preached the Spirit which were there and all that. So number one, when the Spirit of the Lord comes upon you, he launches you into invading the territory that is dominantly occupied by demonic forces. Get that? Do you remember Gideon? The Lord was telling him, but if you are still afraid of attacking the Midianites, can you go to their camp and hear, and you shall hear them interpreting a dream, and from there you'll be burdened. So the people who they are, the manifestation of who they are inside will be actualized or will be activated while in the camp or in the territory of the demonic forces. So they will be there, they will challenge you, and then that is when you shall exercise what you carry, because the Spirit of the Lord has come upon him powerfully. Where does he go? To the camp of the Philistines. So when the Spirit of the Lord comes upon you, he will launch you into a territory that is dominated by demonic forces, so that using that kind of ecosystem, you can start to manifest what you are carrying. Number two, he struck down 30 of the Yemen. If you look at that, 30 is a figure speaking of a whole month. So it's like he struck a demon for every day that would try to challenge him in his day-to-day operations. I don't know why he did not kill that one. Maybe the demon that was left for that one is the one that came through the rider. I don't know. Sorry. Just something. But notice here, he struck down. When the Spirit of the Lord comes upon you, he enables you to triumph. He enables you to conquer. He struck down. Remember, these are the Philistines. And they are energized by Dagon. They have their systems of colonialism that they are using upon these Israelites here at Dan. And now he is striking them down. So when the Spirit of the Lord comes upon you, you strike down the full system of demonic and Dagon operations. Because that of them, a man for a day, a demon for a day. So that's kind of a person who has made sure in like, for instance, like a whole month, he has dealt with a demon for each day. So his months will be something, okay, just something we're trying to think. But notice here, he struck down. It is the Spirit of the Lord that gives you the means and the ways of conquering, of triumphing, of trampling under your feet, of subduing the enemy. He struck down. And I do not know in this life, what have you been trying to strike down? A moral issue? Have you been trying to strike down a stronghold in your mind? Have you been trying to strike down a spiritual sex demon, spiritual wife or spiritual husband? Have you been trying to strike down poverty? Have you been trying to strike down rejection? Or what have you been trying to strike down? The power to strike down successfully is an empowerment that is enabled by the Spirit of the Lord. Number 3, stripped them of everything. Stripped them. So Jesus was saying, you cannot enter into the house of a strong man and plunder his spoil and plunder his possessions unless you bind him and strip him naked. So when the Spirit of the Lord comes upon you, he gives you mechanisms and techniques and strategies and formulas of stripping your enemies of the power and the strength and the strategies that they rely on in oppressing you. Praise Jesus Christ. That's why you notice here, he's saying he stripped them, stripping them. Colossians 2 verse 15. The Bible says he disarmed powers and authorities through the cross. So when the Spirit of the Lord comes upon you, he enables you to have the disarmament techniques. You don't worry about the demons, about witches and sorcerers. You just need the Spirit of the Lord. When the Spirit of the Lord is upon you, a sorcerer can come here, a witch can just come here. And using the Spirit of the Lord, I will strip him of his charms. I will strip him of his magic spells. I will strip him of whatever the powers he is using and render that person naked in terms of power in the spiritual realm. You notice that? So the stripping ability is an enablement by the Spirit of the Lord. Something else, and give their clothes to those who had explained the riddle. But burning with the anger, he returned to his father's home. It is the Spirit of the Lord that nurtures zeal. Burning with the anger. Still, when the Spirit of the Lord came upon him, he is now burning with the anger. There are people who are trying to make decisions. They are not able because they don't have enough courage. They don't have enough confidence. There are people who are trying to act, but they are not able. That we call zeal, burning in anger. Burning in anger is also called the zeal of God. Is something that is induced into you by the Spirit of the Lord. You cannot just burn in anger by yourself. And this is a holy anger. It's not the anger, the other one we know. How was this? The Spirit of the Lord came upon Samson. On what condition? This Spirit of the Lord came upon Samson. And I keep on repeating, purpose. It is for the purpose. If you notice here, Samson was looking for an occasion. He said God was looking for an occasion to rattle the Philistines so that Samson can start now functioning in his ministry of deliverance against the Philistines for Israel. So still the mission the divine assignment, purpose.